So I wanted to go ahead and make this vlog so that I could address some issues, concerns, topics that people have brought up, as well as go into some more depth on some things that I've seen in these churches that don't appear in the blog itself, and we'll go from there. First thing I wanted to address is a lot of people have been asking me why I'm doing this, and so I thought I'd address that. Most of you who would be watching this do know that I don't believe in God, and I haven't believed in God for 4 or 5 years now. 5 years, I believe. It's right after the presidential inauguration I started losing my faith. But anyway, um, so the a lot of people have asked me why I would want to even go through with this, and it's because I'm someone who, though I don't believe in God, I still have things like this hanging up in my home, which I did, by the way. I'm still proud of that. So, um, I have a very complicated history and you know, past with religion. Um, I have a love-hate relationship with a lot of it, and an admiration for quite a bit of it. I still wish I could be part of some tradition, and really am repulsed by a lot of other. So that is what it is. It's a balancing act in my head. And I also wanted to show that, I'm not one to say destroy all religion or all religion is like this or all religion. I'm not even one to really say all religion because religion is such a diverse thing and it is such a layered tapestry of a lot of different things that there is no all religion. There is no all Christianity. There is no all Islam. Um, Even on fundamental things, you can see a huge difference. And I think even in my, having only gone to 10 denominations so far, 9 or 10, something like that. I haven't counted yet. But even just going there, I think I've shown that there is a wide spectrum, even within like Christianity. There is a huge spectrum of not just beliefs, but also practice and also liberal versus conservative, because the first church I went to was ultra liberal and Christian. And, I also went to one that was hyper conservative and Christian. They both feed from the exact same source and have made themselves so different. I wanted to show that. And I wanted to show also that, I live in Utah and we have one major religion in this state, which is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the LDS Church. We're the Mormons, and they make up a majority of people in this state, are on the record somehow, either through childhood or whatever. But topic for another time. Um, but there's still, even though there's all this diversity, or well, this state is really homogenous. There is all this diversity within the state, and all the churches I've been to so far are within a 10-minute drive from my apartment. And every church on this list, with the exception of one group, which I am hoping I get to go to, but might not be able to. But every religious denomination in this is within an hour's drive of my apartment. That's how close everyone is to this kind of diversity if you live in the United States. There is bound to be dozens of places that you can go and you can explore. You can see other cultures in your own backyard. And I wanted to show that we're not this one homogenous unified body that we all think we are. That we're this diverse, often segregated, often prejudiced society with a lot of differences. It's an old quote. I think it's from Martin Luther King. It might be from someone else. It says, Sunday morning is the most segregated. Sunday morning at 11 is the most segregated hour in America, which I find very true. Um, and so, anyway, just wanted to Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. I just wanted to show that it's out there, that all this is out there, and sort of explore them and see them all in work. Plus, I've studied this since I was 15, and it's one thing to read about all of these, it's another thing to go out and experience them. Um, so, really quick, I'll get to that after. So, really quick, I wanted to run down some comments and interesting things with the Jehovah's Witnesses. Um, there was a comment made by actually an old roommate of mine on the blog, and she said that she felt that I was being unnecessarily harsh to the Jehovah's Witnesses in my blog, and that she didn't feel I was being um, unfair to the other groups, but I was to them. I don't feel the same way, but I thought I would address that because I think that it's a valid point to make and to call me out, and I really welcome any sort of criticism of my blog. Once you put something out there into the world, it's not yours anymore. You open it up to all sorts of criticism, and you have to take it. I want to know more why she feels I was being overly harsh to the Jehovah's Witnesses because other than the decor, which I kind of did go a little overboard on that, but it was just so ugly. I mean, oh, I couldn't stand it. It was like the 90s threw up in a room. But, that has no bearing on the actual message or their church as a whole or anything like that. Um, and I did throw a tantrum about the sign, and I'm not apologizing for that. If you're going to advertise this time, particularly if you're a church that goes out and proselytizes every day, you should probably have the right time up on the door and on your website. I'm not going to apologize for that one. That was bad, bad, bad. Right time on your church's door and website. Period. Anyway, um, so the atmosphere in the Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall was really sterile, but they obviously had a close knit community. Will tell you that. I expected to go in there and get a bunch of pamphlets because they come to my door and give me pamphlets all the time. Um, Usually with pictures of Jesus who looks like Kenny Loggins, and I like that picture of Jesus. It's kind of fun to look at. Very manicured, very beautiful man. But no, when I when I went there, I there's you have to have their literature to follow along, and there's a no stuff at the front, and then I found there's a guy that has a key and like a desk, and if you want pamphlets, you have to go and ask him, and I'm assuming pay money because there were people there, all that. So I think you can get the pamphlets for free from the people who come to your door, but not if you just go there, which I found odd. It's the only time I felt like I've gone. Well, not the only time, but the only time in this instance where I felt like I've gone into a place and had everyone staring at me. Um, and I didn't feel very invited. Of course, we weren't technically invited, but I mean, I figured it wouldn't be a huge deal to them because they're, a proselytizing church. So that was kind of unexpected, but everything else is pretty much as it is in the blog, so I'm not going to go much more into that. Um, I'm probably going to go see them again because we didn't get to see the full service. So I just want to be thorough with that. Greek Orthodox Church, Father Mario was awesome. He was quite a hoot. He apparently knows the priest that I lived with for a little while when things were tough with my family. That's another story entirely. Um, because of my old connections with that church, I got to talk with a couple people about, people I knew and all that. Um, I really miss the Greek church. I really miss the Greek community. It's very close knit, very tight community that's just very loving and very, I don't know. The Greeks are a fun people in this area, and um, I had some of the best times in high school and early adulthood hanging out at that church. So I kind of miss it. So the UU Church, the Unitarian Universalist, I have to give a big, big thank you to the members of that congregation for having such a wonderful service, number one. Number two, I have to thank personally the minister there, Teresa Novak, because she linked my blog to a couple of UU pages, and it got picked up by the Unitarian Universalist National Magazine's blog, which meant that I had 2,000, nearly 2,000 views of this blog in like 2 days. It was insane. I never expected my blog to blow up like that, or being, put onto some national publication that was actually seen in like 10, 11 countries. Um, so I really want to thank Teresa for that. That was quite a bit of exposure. Um, UU Church, I did get their program. What is love? Um, yeah, just very basic program, nothing fancy, no real, um, yeah, and lots of pamphlets from the church, which I haven't read yet. Welcome to Unitarian Universalism. I'll read that one. I picked these two up just because I don't think I'm actually going to get around to reading them. But yeah. I did read this one. This one was interesting. It was just on their symbol, the flaming chalice. Good read. And I need to read that one. So yeah, and then the Buddhist service today was really, really lovely. The people were lovely. There was a man I mentioned in the blog who has been following my blog. He had this, I forget what they call them. I want to say it's not necktie, but it goes around. You have the cord, and then there's a little clasp that comes here. Lots of people wear them around here, and for the life of me, I don't remember what the name of them is. But he had it custom made, and it was the Wheel of Dharma, that 8-spoked wheel. So that was cool, and he's been following my blog, and that was kind of surreal to know that someone who attended one of the churches that I went to is reading my blog before I go there. So that was odd. Someone I've never met, don't know anything about. Um, I have sort of Buddhist tendencies, I think. I'm not really ashamed to admit that. I really, really enjoyed the service. It made me think a lot. It gave me one really kind of dark thought that I have, not, well, dark thought on death and the inevitability of death. I might as well tell you. Um, During the service, I remembered my dad died a couple years ago, and I remembered um, seeing him hooked up to all the machines and the tube coming out of his mouth and on the hospital bed, and us crying and everything. And I thought about how I'm going to have to do that with everybody I love and care about. So I thought about my mom, my sisters, my brother, a few of my friends. I thought of each of them in that hospital bed with the same things, and just how devastating that would be to me. Uh, and then that thought kind of went away, and I was just kind of left with this sort of beautiful feeling about the world and life in general. Um, and it's interesting that a service could do that to me. It could bring that out in me. And I did get a pamphlet from them. Well, not a pamphlet, program. A little quote on the front. The teachings of Buddhism are a foundation to be examined and tested. The Buddha's experiences of enlightenment is the basis on which we build this search. But the search is still ours. That's by Gene Smith. And because it was the pet memorial, there's a little thing on the bottom. In memory of our beloved companions, we who choose to surround ourselves with lives even more temporary than our own, live within a fragile circle, easily and often breached, and we would still live no other way. That's by Irving Townsend. Um, Buddhist service was really pretty and really enlightening and really enlightening, and really spoke to me in a way I didn't think it would. Of all these churches I visited, the Unitarian Universalist is probably the one that I would actually attend more of. But I'll talk more on that some other time. In any case, this video is getting kind of long as it is, so have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.